Welcome to Seth's Daily Podcast. Without you, this wouldn't be possible, and thank you guys for subscribing. We are blessed enough to have a sponsor. It is called Not Bottom Cabins. If you want to book a room there, the number is 606 223 4151, and their Facebook page is Not Bottom Cabins. And their Facebook link will be in the description, and so will the website to book a night. And the number for that again is 606 223 4151. I want to thank them for sponsoring. They're an awesome sponsor, and they have a great cabin, man, at the Knott County Trail Ride. You guys should definitely book nights up there and enjoy the beautiful views and the riding horses and everything up there, man. It's awesome. I want to thank them for sponsoring. And we are blessed enough to have an interview with Malcolm Johnson. Hey, this is the third time he's been on the podcast, man. This dude is very talented. I mean, hey, I hear he absolutely rocked the show at Broken Throne. And how are you
I
doing?
think you're being generous, but thank you very much.
How are you doing tonight, man?
I mean, I'm doing pretty good. I've got another date. We're trying to line up and coordinate that with Broken Throne. I'm also going to start. I've put together a few recordings as well, or at least, sorry, a few other people have pieced together some recordings, and I'm just going to try to put that into some sort of promotional material and just take to a few of the local eateries and bars and establishments and be like, "Hey, I do this kind of music. Would you be interested in letting me play here?" And then, kind of just starting that whole thing up.
Yeah, man. I mean, there's definitely a lot more shows happening now, man, and you're definitely one of the most talented people in Eastern Kentucky, so they should definitely get you to play. I've actually had some bars and stuff text me, and I've sent them. I don't know if they got back to you or not, but
Nothing yet, but I'll be sure to keep an eye out for it. Definitely.
yeah. Actually, there's been a lot of people that I interview that always get concerts, man. I don't know if like people actually must be watching the interviews and like listening, man, to music. I mean, nothing like live music.
There is nothing like live music, and I'm just as the more we can put out there, the more it's just going to be better for everybody.
Yeah. Are you
Because I
actually
think
gonna?
honestly, just yeah, I think we as a whole are just ready to maybe not get back to normal, but to try to get back to life.
Yeah. Are you actually gonna put some of that recording and stuff on YouTube?
Maybe not that particular one because that one was a little raw and it was slightly nerve wracking. But my friend Chase and I, the gentleman who backed me up on bass, we're working up a few more tunes. We actually were joking about the idea of throwing in a couple of Saturday morning cartoon songs into our repertoire, like the theme song from DuckTales or Chippendales Rescue Rangers, just to add a little goose, because everybody who was our generation when they were watching those cartoons are now, certainly alcoholics enough to the point that they go to restaurants and bars to listen to the live music and then drink these drinks. So why not add a little dose of nostalgia to it as well?
Did you sing Mustang Sally at the Pikeville show?
Yes, I did. I didn't plan to originally, but we had enough of a response from the crowd and enough people stayed that they decided to do an encore. And my buddy Chase and I, we didn't really, I mean, we both know that tune almost by heart, and we didn't really rehearse it while setting up for that gig. But we just looked at each other and we were just like, let's do it. And then he just lays down a funky little bass groove, and then we just tear right into it.
Yeah. There's been a lot of
It was
people.
actually a dude who stayed after. We played the song "The Wait" by the band earlier on in the evening. He unfortunately missed it, this gentleman. But after the show was over, he's just like, "Oh, come on, man! I want you guys to play "The Wait" for me." And I was like, "Well, I really want to, brother." But honestly, it's been so long since I have played. My fingers were just shredded, and I couldn't hardly press down anymore, let alone my voice. So I mean, it's just a matter of conditioning, getting back into everything, and just getting back into a performance shape. So it's it's an interesting resurgence, I would say.
Yeah. How long has it been since you last played before this show?
Honestly, the last time I played for any sort of performance capacity was not last Christmas, but the year before, when the Appalachian Center for the Arts, the theater that is in the town, is in Pikeville. They were doing a Christmas special, and it was a wonderfully charming show. They asked me to come perform for it, and so I got to throw my guitar on stage, and we did a couple of older tunes, some a Christmas tune here or there, and it was just a wonderfully family oriented show. I've done other more musically demanding shows. There was one that was really interesting called The Robber Bridegroom, and there are a few things as interesting as Broadway and major musical theater trying to do country music. So that's just an interesting example. It's like you have people trying to put all of these wonderfully lyrical phrases and sayings into like boom chicka boom chicka boom chicka boom music, and uh, it's kind of comical at some points, but be that as it may, the music for Robert Bridegroom is quite a toe tapper, and there are just so many things to say about a bunch of different shows. But
Yeah, man, your show at Broken Throne, I hear it's a packed house.
it was certainly, there were more people than I expected, but then again, I think that was in no small part on Jamie. She did a heck of a job doing a wonderful promotion for it. And I didn't know I could look like that on promotional material. So good, great props to her. And then my dad and a few of his friends were just like, we all drink beer and we have money. Let's all go watch music. And so it was nice being able to just hang out, and there were many people there chattering away, and then some people were singing along to songs that I didn't think that they would even recognize. I did a tune from the Dubliners called The Wild Rover. It's kind of an Irish drinking tune, but there was a guy in the back corner. He was just slapping onto the bar table and then singing along with us. It was very surprising to see the musical wherewithal of some people out there. Very pleasantly surprising.
Yeah, in a good way though.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I think people are just excited, man, just to be able to get out of the house right now, man, and just enjoy music.
Don't even get me started. Yeah, we're all just, some of us after more than well over a year are just very ready to do anything as safely as we possibly can. We're just like, okay, let us do masks, let us wear gloves. I mean, stick me in a whole body rubber condom for all I care. Just let me go out, please.
The vaccines have definitely helped a lot.
They really have. Like, I've had my second one probably over a month now. No real issues. I'm still waiting on that nice internet, but no, I've almost given up hope on that so far.
The first one, man, it destroyed me for one night, man. It made me really sick. Hopefully, the second one doesn't do that.
Well, I didn't really feel anything from the first one. The most I got from the second one was some soreness in the area where they gave me the shot. And then, maybe a little bit of fatigue. And I was just like, I don't want to do anything today. But that was really about the worst of it.
Yeah, it made me like have like chills and like body aches and stuff, and it made me have a headache and stuff. Which they say that's a side effect, which means the vaccine works.
That's very true. So, I mean, hopefully, as more people get it, we can slowly come out of this crazy time.
Honestly, there wasn't really that many people when I got the vaccine. There was like 4 or 5 people there getting the vaccine. It wasn't really too many.
Well, now I went probably about somewhere between 9 and 10 the morning that I went both times to have my shot
But yeah,
taken.
that's what time I went as well.
The first time there was a decent little line, but not the second time there really weren't as many people, but they had at least about 3 rows of cars going in and out. But the first time I went, I think they had like 5 rows of cars. So it it's nice to see just people still taking efforts and precautions to keep themselves and everyone else safe.
Yeah, the Johnson and
But I have
Johnson
to say,
shot.
yeah,
The Johnson shot probably made some people not want to take the vaccine.
yeah, certainly understandable. That can be a scary thing, especially when you find out that you're one of those people who uh, made a potentially wrong decision just out of like, we need to get this taken care of. So everyone that's happened to, I wish them the best and Godspeed.
Yeah, man. I believe there was like 1 or 2 people that died from. I don't know if that's correct. I think there was like a couple people that died from like blood clots or something.
I'm wildly uninformed, as I know that there have been adverse effects. I'm not entirely sure what they all have been. So I'll just say that I'm wildly uninformed when it comes to the full scope of effects that people have suffered from.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody's died of it, but I know there's like 15 blood clot cases. I think I did see where at least one person died from it, like from not from Moderna or Pfizer. I think everybody's been fine with them 2 vaccines.
Okay.
Which I mean, Moderna, man, it honestly is the best vaccine in my opinion out of all the 3.
Well, is the Moderna 1 shot or is that 2 as well?
2 shots.
Okay, so the Moderna and the Pfizer are both
2 shots. Yeah.
shots. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Because
Moderna protects you 95%. Pfizer protects you 93%.
oh no, 2% difference. I mean, I can understand people wanting to safety precautions and everything. I just think that sometimes things can be blown a little out of proportion or a lot out of proportion. So I mean, I try to take a page out of the playbook of Jeffrey Lebowski, and just like the dude abides, as kind of weirdly cliche as that sounds.
But the Johnson and Johnson, they had like millions of people taken, only 15 people. Which I mean, prayers for the 15 people that it did cause harm to. But I mean, if you think about it, really, it's safer than a lot of vaccines that are out there.
Well, I would just have to listen to a virologist or someone more informed on that one, because I just that's a topic of conversation. I would be well too capable of putting my own foot in my mouth on that.
Yeah.
So I mean, best luck to everyone on their own particular issues. Just make sure everyone does research before taking any steps towards vaccination about any effects that could happen, etc., etc. So yeah, just general overthinking.
Yeah, man, Moderna, it just bothered me for 1 day, really, man. I felt fine the next day. Just the shoulder was sore. But man, honestly, Moderna is really safe, and I think everybody should get a vaccine. That's just my opinion.
I mean, yeah, I don't see anything wrong with saying that.
Yeah. But the
Now, it
internet
might be a
is
little
still
hard to
not
do if you live up somewhere
internet's
in the
still
middle
not
of a
as
mountain by
fast.
yourself, but
Yeah. Like you said, the internet's still not faster though, man.
I mean, I feel like that was one conspiracy theory everybody kind of wanted to be true.
Especially in Eastern Kentucky.
Especially in Eastern Kentucky. Don't even get me started. AT&T.
Oh, do you got an AT&T phone?
I do. I do. It works great when I'm in Lexington.
Yeah. I got an Appalachian Wireless, man. It works fine here.
That's what I've heard.
It actually does good at other places too. It like uses extended and stuff like that.
But
Yeah.
yeah, things are going really well, or I mean, they're starting to kind of pick up for everybody, from what I understand. My buddy Chase, he plays with an amazing group out of Lexington called Jocelyn and the Sweet Compressions. The lady who sings front for them, it has a set of pipes that just blow me away. Um, uh, it's very, very interesting. I can't wait to see them go back out and start playing music. He just came back from a rehearsal with them the other day. Um, Great things are on the horizon for everyone, it seems, and I wish everyone the best in their endeavors, be it economically, artistically, emotionally, physically. There's no better time than now to do better across the board for everyone.
And people can follow their dreams even more.
Exactly. Sorry, I had to scratch my nose there.
Like you, man, you went to an open mic and then I don't know, a couple weeks later you performed there, man. That is phenomenal.
Yeah, it was really just a random, just happenstance that really lucked out, and um, we can only see what happens in the future, where this goes. I'm certainly keeping hopes to just bring music to my only real hope and desire is to just keep music in the area and people interested in wanting to perform and bringing their talents locally. It doesn't even have to be music. It could be comedy, poetry, anything of the nature. If you find it to be an art form, you go do that. If you can find a public space to do that and show it to everyone else, all the better.
Yeah. It would be awesome having more stand up comedy around here.
It really would. It really would. I mean, the only unfortunate thing is that everybody and their opinion uh, makes that a little bit difficult these days.
Censorship.
Yes, more or less. Um, yeah, it's just there's yeah, not going to get into that topic of conversation. But no, it can be a sensitive time for everyone, and I can understand why. So everyone in some form or fashion has to do their walking on eggshells or tiptoes or anything of that nature, and it's unfortunate, but the times are what they are.
And man, I've been getting nothing but good feedback from your Mustang Sally song, man. I mean, I have had people text me and said, "Man, that guy's got some talent."
I mean, that it never ceases to surprise me how much that song resonates with almost anyone, because regardless of the context, how you heard it, a large number of people have heard that song that can appreciate that, and they'll just be like, it's a song about a woman and a Mustang. I don't get it. Or at least, but it's a bad joke anyway. But it's a song that I think can bridge nicely across genres. So more people can appreciate that than I don't really know where I was going with that, but here we are.
I think you mean like everybody can appreciate that song, like even people from like different parts of the world.
Okay, yes, fair enough. That what you said makes what I said not sound that great. But yeah, Mustang Sally, it's a groovy little tune. It's fairly easy to play. If you can get into your C7s and slides and a few things here and there. I tell you what, one thing I've really noticed lately is that my calluses are starting to come back, and that's just making me really happy because I think it's a fun mark for a guitar player when their bare fleshy fingertips are so calloused over that they sound like fingernails when clacking on like, glass or a guitar body or something like that.
Is that your favorite song to actually perform?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's my favorite, but it's one that gets the crowd going. I mean, in my own experience, I wouldn't say this across the board everywhere, but more people would know something, like Mustang Sally than like Wild Rover by the Dubliners, or possibly a Cat Stevens tune, Morning Has Broken, that sort of thing. So it's just kind of one of those songs that, especially in a bar type situation, people just be like, "Yeah, Mustang Sally." So it's one of the better tunes. Oh, sorry, I almost lost my light there and had to catch it. Oops. Whew. But yeah, it's one of those tunes that a lot of people, especially in a bar crowd, can just I would say readily identify with and be like, "Yeah, I know that song."
Seems like it's a real good song to vibe to.
Oh, it really is. It's got a fun little beat to it. If you've got more than just a guitar and a bass, and you've got a group that can do solos, especially if you've got a horn section, whew, I'll tell you what, that would be something I would love to try and do, is get a group of people together with drums, a horn a section. We could do a couple little older tunes. Like I personally have a slightly older soul when it comes to music. I love stuff like Frank Sinatra, Cab Calloway. I mean, if you give me any one of the tunes from the Blues Brothers, Lord, I could probably try and at least want to try and wail on it, with the exception of You Better Think, because I mean, Lord knows I'm no Aretha. But no, like I appreciate and relate with older music, both emotionally and as a person, than music of today. So yeah, it's just the idea of a more maybe not necessarily a finished sound, but it's a group effort, as opposed to anything that can be thrown down on a MIDI file onto a beatbox, and it's like boom chicka, and they can press buttons to achieve the desired effect. It just kind of takes the soul out of it, for me personally.
Yeah, there's a lot more emotion back then too. I can.
Yeah, I would certainly agree with that. um yeah, I'm like, I've catch myself thinking sometimes, if you take something along the lines of like, as kind of cliche as it sounds, Stairway to Heaven, and then how iconic that song was, and then the lyrics that they put in there, and the melody as well, and then you take that and you put it up against something of what today's listeners would consider of equal capabilities, or to compare it to. And in my opinion, I think that there's a strong case that there's a lot less soul in music, and more there's a lot more style and less substance, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that copy other people.
Yeah. Now, that being said, I will find myself going on YouTube tangents and just being like, okay, we're just going to search random music and just try to find something completely new. And I came across a lady, I cannot remember her name for the life of me, but the song was like, musically, it blew me away. And then, but it was simple and kitschy enough that today's kids would really be able to get into it. And the more I listened to it, I was just like, honestly, this sounds like if Prince were a woman. And that is amazing, because firstly, I love the sound that Prince had, and just that kind of like rhythm and blues mixed with funk. And so like, it just surprised me. And then watching the video, I was like, this video is amazing as well. So I just that little moment of surprise, when you can just find something new, even if it's not something you would listen to regularly, you can still just be like, that's awesome.
Yeah. To be honest with you, this is just my opinion. There's more talented female singers today than what there is male.
Oh, I would agree. I would agree. I very much would agree.
Especially watching
Um,
these shows like American Idol and The Voice and stuff like that.
yes, wasn't there a lady from uh, Northern Kentucky on it? She was on one of the voice shows. It was either American Idol or The Voice, but she was from Northern Kentucky.
Oh, I don't know, man. I just now started watching the new season. Like the season is still going on. I've watched it on Hulu. Just like I've watched like the first two episodes.
As cheesy as the idea is, have you ever seen The Masked Singer?
I seen T Pain on there once.
I mean, the idea is super cheesy, and but what surprised me was the caliber of voice that some people not known for their voices were.
Not T
Like
Pain, yeah.
well, I mean, I've seen a couple of videos of T-Pain singing without the auto tune, and it was pretty eye opening and awesome to watch. Um, but the some of course you always have your joke celebrity who's just like the first one voted off, and they have not the best voice, but there were some on there that just blew me away, and they were like there was one that was a YouTube personality and influencer. She had an amazing voice that completely blew me away, and then of course you have more seasoned musicians and performers that just come on there and they're just being like, oh my god, we know this voice, where do we know this voice from? And then they take the mask off and you're like, oh my god, it's Paula Abdul. So it was really surprising to be like um and well, they also mess with you because if they, for instance, they had Paula Abdul singing something completely out of her musical genre, normal genre wheelhouse. So that's how they mess with you and try to be like, okay, the song is awesome, but where do I know this voice from? And that is, so it's really really neat. And I just think that that's a neat premise, even if it is kind of cheesy.
You got any like a YouTube page or a Facebook page coming up here soon?
I'm still working on some material to put on there because I don't just want to have a YouTube page with 2 or 3 songs on it. Once I have a decent enough listing that I can throw at least ideally anywhere between 8 to 10 videos just to start us off, and then once I have that material booked up, I'll then start putting together a music page and getting all things like this organized into something, because just I never really thought about doing anything like this, and the idea of just this adventure into music, it has me really intrigued, and I want to just kind of ride the waves and see what happens.
Yeah. I've actually I don't know if you watched the other day, I had Trevor Thacker, he played at Summit. He was actually signed to Loretta Lynn. He's an amazing talent, man. You and him doing a song together would be awesome.
Well, I have not seen that video, but I definitely will check that out now, and I look forward to hearing the voice, his voice and his style.
Yeah, he's country. He sings country songs and stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he was actually a signed artist too, man. He's very talented.
Heck yeah. I mean, I've sorry, I had to adjust myself there. I wish everyone the best in their endeavors, and just seeing the positive windfall that happens from anything they do and the exposure that they get just gives I think honestly should give everyone just a real big boost of good for them.
Yeah, you and him doing a song together would be cool.
I would really enjoy that.
Yeah. Have you ever? Have you actually been doing like some songwriting and stuff?
I've never really tried songwriting myself. I have an issue putting words together sometimes, or at least I have an issue putting words together when I want to put them together.
Hmm.
Because I sometimes I like to think that I have a really good working relationship with dumb luck, and sometimes things just kind of go
Hmm.
for me. but whenever I actually try to put effort into something, it's just like, no. So it's just a weird. Oh, sorry, I've got a dog laying here next to me, and I accidentally elbowed him in the face. But yeah, sorry, you'll have to remind me of the previous question. I got so distracted, I thought I heard the dog.
Oh, honestly, I can't remember.
I mean,
Oh,
these
about
things happen.
songwriting. Oh, it was about songwriting. Sorry.
Songwriting, yes. I've never really tried my hand at songwriting because whenever I try to put words together deliberately, it doesn't really work out so well. So I've mostly just stuck to finding and reinterpreting other people's emotions and feelings, like, and just try to make it my own or adapt it to something that I can just spread that out there for everyone else. So I'm not saying I won't try it in the future. It's just that I haven't yet. Uh, but we'll see what happens.
What's your email or something like that so somebody can like book you for a show if they want you to come play at their venue?
Most definitely. The best email to get a hold of me for something like that would, this is all lowercase lettering. It is Gabe, Gabe .Johnson 85 at yahoo.com.
All right. Hopefully, some people will book you at their venues, man. I mean,
That would be awesome.
you actually already got a show upcoming.
Yes, Jamie and I were talking, the lady who manages Broken Throne, a delightful person. She and I were talking about possibly having me come back in the early parts of June. Unfortunately, I did have the theater that I work for will be starting back up in early May, so I will be occupied there. But once I get a firm schedule from the theater, and then I can get back in touch with Jamie, I will be booking a second date there as well. And then once I finish finalizing some more of my promotional material and taking that to a few other places, and we might be adding a few more dates onto that in the future.
Yeah, man. Jamie is a great person, and Broken
Oh,
Throne
she's
is
awesome.
amazing as well. Jamie's actually my cousin. I don't know if you knew that.
I think you mentioned that on I think the second podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, she is super cool, a chill person, and just a delight to be around. And I don't know if necessarily work with would be the proper term, but organizing things with her was no hassle whatsoever. She was a treat to deal with, and overall just a pleasant person.
Hopefully, you'll be playing in July because I'll actually be in Pikeville for my birthday, and that's where I'm actually gonna go is Broken Throne.
What day?
My birthday's July 30th. I'll be 23. I mean, I can go right now, but my girlfriend will be 21 in August. So I
Mine's
mean,
the 25th.
1st of August. So we'll actually be there. Probably, we're gonna be there August the 1st.
That's awesome. And that's a weird coincidence too, because mine's the 25th.
The July.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I won't be there in July. I'll be there August the 1st. But I mean, I'll be staying in Pikeville from like
Well,
July
that's
to
super cool.
a couple days as a mini vacation.
Where are you based out of normally?
Oh, where do I stay at normally?
Yeah.
Oh, in downtown Pikeville.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've stayed there before. I can't remember the name of it. There's actually like two hotels in downtown, like just like together. I don't
Yeah.
know which one I stayed at, but I stayed at one of them. I know it was in downtown.
Okay.
Might have been Hilton or there's something. There's another one there too. There's like
I think, yeah, there's a Hilton and I think there's a Hampton.
yeah, I stayed at one of them. Can't really remember because they share the same pool and stuff and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. My
it's
mom usually stays at one of them whenever she comes into town.
yeah. It's just gonna be awesome just to be able to get out and stuff and just enjoy a birthday, man. With COVID
Um,
going on, really didn't get to enjoy like going out to eat and like Buffalo Wild Wings, which is
yeah.
awesome, by the way.
This is true. Yeah, everyone that I've spoke to, they're just like ready to get back out and start. Like they don't care what it is. They just like they're ready to not be stuck inside and just go back to life.
Yeah, man. Ever since I've been vaccinated, I've been eating out a little bit more. Like I actually ate in at a Mexican restaurant the other day, and it was weird, like being in a booth for like the first time, man. I was like, oh well, there's other people around. Oh god.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just one of those things, just like every time somebody passes by, you're just like, oh god, where's my mask?
Do they have COVID?
Yeah, or just like
Yeah.
like it's that you can't look at somebody and talk to them without putting your mask on, even if they're like 10 feet across a room from you.
Yeah.
But
It's
by that same token, you probably wouldn't want to be going up into somebody's personal space, just being like, hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear. Just no.
But yeah, man, I don't want to be close to any person, man. COVID's going on, man. Y'all like if I was a famous person and somebody want to take a picture with me right now, I'd say no, not today.
Yeah, I would kind of feel uncomfortable taking a picture with a wax dummy at this point.
Yeah, you never know; it might have COVID germs on
Or I'll be on one of those prank shows and it be a real person for once.
Oh yeah, like Las Vegas at that place, man. They've had like NBA players like pause for a second, and then somebody walks around and they just start having start like dribbling the basketball and stuff.
Yeah,
That would be creepy, man.
it would be, but in hindsight that would just be so funny.
It is
I
hilarious.
mean, minus the COVID potential.
Yeah. Oh, this was pre-COVID.
Well, fair, yeah.
It's weird saying that. It's weird saying pre-COVID. It's pretty bad. We got to say, oh man, yeah, we used to enjoy life pre-COVID.
Yeah, it is kind of weird. Hopefully things calm down fairly quickly and this will just be a weird blip for everyone, and we can just be like, hopefully we can all be like, do you guys remember that one time? And honestly, I think that's the best we can ask for.
Yeah, be like, now we can enjoy life now.
Well, I mean, even if we can't enjoy it, at least we can live it.
Yeah.
So I mean, that might sound a little bit fatalistic, but I mean, it beats being cooped up in the house waiting for somebody to be like, okay, you can go back to doing things now.
I ain't gonna lie, that first like couple weeks of COVID, it was like nice to like sit in the house for a little bit and like play video games and stuff.
Yeah, the first 2 weeks it was fun because people didn't take it seriously, and then after that, people started just everything started happening, and then things started shutting down, and then more and more it just became like, oh crap,
Yeah.
and then now it's just got enough people in an oh crap kind of situation that we're all just like, okay, it just it's time.
Yeah. There's some people that's like looked at the death rate and stuff and they're like 0.5% death rate. Well, I'm just gonna go live life.
Um, I mean, in that I can understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, that's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
So
Any death is bad, man. Any
yes,
death
absolutely,
one death is one death too many.
absolutely.
But that's the way people are looking at it right now. I'm like I'm not trying to get political, but there's people from both sides that are like, let's not take the vaccine. Let's just live life. It's only got a 0.5% death rate. That's what they're like right now.
Yeah. Um, I can see that. We it just comes down to personal accountability and just making sure that if anything does happen, not trying to blame someone else for things that you may have done or may not have done, whatever the case may be. So it's just making sure that everyone is personal. I speak words, I promise, personally accountable. Yes. And being safe, not only for themselves, but for everyone else.
It shouldn't be political to try to save lives.
Yeah, it really shouldn't. But there's always there's always a better way to save someone, I guess. And well, that's probably not a fair point of view to have or thing to say. So we'll not we'll take that back.
They might cancel you.
Yeah, I don't like conflict. I personally agree with the idea that the secret to happiness is to not argue with people, be they stupid or smart. Just, somebody comes up to me and says, the earth is flat and the sun revolves around me, I can be like, yes, you are right. And then I can go back to living my own little form of happiness.
The earth is flat and the sun.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
not people don't thankfully people don't say that about themselves, at least that I've met yet, but they
Never know.
they certainly do think that it does, if not directly, then indirectly. But
I think like everything just needs to be like handed to them and stuff. I think that's what you mean. Like the stuff, like everything evolves around them. There's a lot of people like that think that everything.
Well, maybe not so much that, it's just that whenever they speak about an issue or a topic or they make a statement, then they needn't be questioned.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can understand certain points of view about things, but I don't see why it should be necessarily a completely horrible thing to be like, but why?
Yeah. There's always an answer to every question.
That's true, but unfortunately, I don't think anyone will ever be able to answer certain questions like these anytime soon.
No. No. I won't even get started on this topic.
But yeah, the only thing I'll say is just people try to make simple answers for complex subjects and it just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
So there needs to be room for conversation across the board for everything, because
respect,
the more you limit conversation about an issue, the less you are likely to understand it.
It fix the issue as well.
Exactly.
There's a lot of issues in this world. There's always going to be issues in this world, though.
Unfortunately, but true.
Yeah. Even in music, there's a lot of issues with music and stuff, like labels and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting to see how
people are doing good independently.
Well, yes, but also to see, I get to put a theater term on it, I suppose, would probably be to open the curtains on certain issues behind the scenes that people didn't know were going on. Like, I know that there's been an issue with a Broadway producer, if I'm not mistaken, and how he's kind of through underhanded means made sure one show was closed in a certain theater so that another show that he was involved with could be in that space, if from what I understand took place. But like things like this have taken place, the misuse of this tactic or resource, and just the diligence of people to be like, hey, this has been going on, and we are either now just finding our voice to say something about it, or just now finding out about it, period. So there, that's at least a even if it is a little chaotic, it's a pleasant thing to kind of see.
There's a lot of good independent artists out there. One my favorite independent artists and just artists in general is have you ever heard of Tom McDonald?
I've heard that name. I'm usually good with name, not that great with names. Sorry. Um,
You should check his
is he
music.
the rapper?
Yeah, he's the rapper. Yeah, man, you
Okay,
should check.
yes. I've
Yeah,
watched a few
he's
of his videos.
amazing.
Those are very neat.
He's amazing, man. He even does like rock music and stuff. He's real good.
I did not know that. I only saw his two of his rap songs, and it surprised me that he was putting music out there like that. And I didn't expect anything like that coming from the rap genre. And I was like, that's really, really interesting.
Yeah, his music really has a coming together message,
Yeah, I agree.
which
I'll
I would
definitely
love.
have to. I'll have to find his rock stuff now that you mentioned it.
Yeah, he actually just came out with a CD. It's on his website.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, man, he's an amazing talent, man.
Sorry, I got caught, and you're on my computer screen up in the corner here, and I'm keep thinking like, okay, I'm looking at you on the computer screen, and you're looking at me, and I'm just like, oh no, wait, you're
You're
over
probably
here.
looking at the ocean waves, like, man, I wish I was on the beach.
I mean, I kind of do. My a friend of my dad's, but he's been a family friend long enough that he may as well just be my uncle, adopted anyway. He's getting ready to fly out to Florida for a temp gig, and I'm just like, I hate you so much. I want to go. But so we find the little peaceful things that we can, like earlier today I was able to step out into the sunlight and get at least a little bit of the vitamin D and just the pleasant wind, and just a couple of good breaths and just just a little bit of that
Meditate.
decompression.
Oh yeah, meditating, man, helps a lot.
I mean, some people, it can be interesting, and some may think it kind of tedious, and I mean, I thought it was when I first tried getting into it, but it's I mean, there's almost no words for it. It can be relaxing, and at the same time uh revelatory.
Do you meditate on the regular or just meditate every now and then?
I mean, I wouldn't say I do anything so concrete or literal as meditating, but if I find myself on a nice day outside and there's a wind blowing, I'll close my eyes, feel the sun on my face, and take a few deep breaths in and just enjoy that good moment. Because in my opinion, all meditation is just really existing in the moment, whether or not you appreciate it or examine it or anything like that. So I think it can be taken to an extreme, but I think anything can be taken to an extreme. So I find the little moments where I can just kind of find a peace and just being, like, and we're back.
I got one last question for you before you start singing.
Hit me.
I cannot ask you this question. I mean, it's just an awesome question, man. You actually told us a story when Chasing the Graph asked you a question. You said something about there's something of you in another country or something like that. That is so awesome, man. Can you tell us the backstory on that?
Yeah. So there's a theater in Elkhorn City called the Artists Collaborative Theater. And a few years ago, I was involved with a couple of productions over there, one of which being The Wizard of Oz, the other one the following year being Beauty and the Beast. And there is a foreign exchange student program with one of the schools in Elkhorn. And they will accept some students from Africa and I'm sorry, I think it was Central Africa. I can't exactly remember where, but they accept for have a foreign exchange student program, and as a way to introduce them to other cultures. These students are often brought to musical venues, and then they're just like, oh, what's this? We really want to check this out. And then the musical theater, we'd never really experienced anything like that before, and some of them haven't even seen the actual Disney productions at the time. So, and they're just all like, it was really neat to introduce them to this for a couple of them for the first time, and they were just so taken aback by it and really wowed that they wanted to take pictures with everybody so that they could show their family when they got back home. And that's somehow how my picture, one in a very hot furry lion costume, and then the other one in a horrible wig, it ended up across the pond in Central Africa. And I can only imagine what people say when they are shown this picture, and they're just like, whoa, 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 what is this? And then he tells them the story, or they are told the story from that person's perspective. So I can only imagine what they have to say about it.
Some of them may not believe it.
That's probable.
People, I mean, people from other countries and stuff may not have even heard of like Elkhorn City, or well, most people ain't heard of Elkhorn City. Most people in the United States.
Yeah. It's interesting because I think there's a city in Pikeville that it has a sister city in China. So they had I think it's Prestonsburg, but I might be mistaken. But they had some foreign delegates from that city come over, and like they had, and then of course we had some people go over and visit them, and it was just an interesting cultural exchange to just be like, hey, we like, you're kind of a coal mining town. We were a former coal mining town, similar population sizes, and just that neat exchange. And I never thought that something like that was I mean, I just didn't think people had the interest to be just like, oh, look, they're kind of similar to us. Let's see what's going on over there.
Yeah, man, it's surprising that they've even heard of any town in Eastern Kentucky in another
Yeah.
country, or heck, even another state.
Yeah. But I mean, like I said, I'm if I'm for anything, it's just for communication, people talking to each other, because the more we learn, the less we don't know.
So you can tell, like, whenever whenever you can tell like your family and everything, hey, I got stuff, I got pictures of me in Africa.
Yeah. It's a wild, gnarly experience.
It's definitely a talk starter, man.
I mean, yeah, it's still probably one of my favorite stories to tell in a safe setting. I have a few more that are definitely not okay for general audiences.
It's the only
But
family friendly story you got.
I wouldn't say it's the only, but it's definitely the best family friendly story that I have.
It is cool, man. That's so awesome, man. Did you actually get a picture tuck with him?
Yeah. They let's see, the first group was a sizable group. There were at least about 8 to 10 students. And then the second year it was somewhere about 5 or 6, but still it was just wild to see. And it was really refreshing to see them just soaking up the culture with so much enthusiasm, and they were just like really enjoying everything. And they were talking of course, some language issues, but they were talking about music that they had listened to and foods that they have tried, and just the stories that they were going to tell their family when they went home. And it was just like that, just really it makes me feel good from a deep place.
Yeah. I don't know if they really enjoyed the food around here too much though.
Well, I mean, you know, it's kind of hard not to enjoy deep fried anything.
Well, I mean, there is a few good restaurants, yeah, man, like Buffalo Wild Wings.
Well, I mean, this was before B Dubs was built, so I mean, they had probably more local eatery establishments. But there's a few places in Elkhorn, and then I'm sure they got to try somebody's cornbread and their this recipe for pinto beans. So I have no doubt that they were exposed to some really good food.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple good restaurants around here, but man, there are some restaurants that I've ate at that not even have cooked the burgers right before.
Fair. I mean, but yeah, it's a kind of a crapshoot almost anywhere you go.
Yeah.
Um, so you just honestly, I can't order a steak medium rare anymore. Not to say that everyone who cooks a steak medium rare does it bad. Not at all. It's just I had a bad experience one time at one place, and it just I can't do that ever again. So I'm always at least just like, you know, give me medium, and then we'll be good.
Yeah, man. I don't really like fast food restaurants too much. I like going into like, I mean, there Taco Bell. Don't get me wrong. Anytime you get Taco Bell or Wendy's, man, you're good to go.
There you go. There you go.
Wendy's makes the best burger, man.
I mean, I'll destroy some spicy nuggets from Wendy's.
Yeah,
Like I will destroy them.
they're pretty good, man.
I fully agree.
So, what song are you playing for us tonight?
Well, I'm still working on a couple of the solo parts for it, but I have the tune Can't You See by the Marshall Tucker Band. Gonna take a freight train down to the station, Lord. I don't care where it goes. Gonna climb a mountain, the highest mountain, Lord. Jump off, nobody gonna know. Can't you see? Can't you see what that woman, Lord, been doing to me? Can't you see? Can't you see what that woman, Lord, she's been doing to me? I'm gonna find me a hole in the wall. I'm gonna crawl inside and die. Come a later now, mean old woman, Lord, she never told me goodbye. Can't you see? Can't you see what that woman, Lord, she's been doing to me? Can't you see? Oh, can't you see what that woman, Lord, she's been doing to me?
Good job, man.
Thank you very much. Like, you know, that's not the whole little tune there, but it's just me piddling away. I love that little bit they have in there. My buddy Chase, he can wail on the trombone, and then he and I were talking about doing a couple of tunes, one of which in particular was the Frank Sinatra song "Fly Me to the Moon." And as we were just playing around rehearsing that one day, he just started noodling on a bass riff. And then we were talking about recording that. He can just throw down a trombone solo like nobody's business, and it just gets the blood pumping to be like, oh, we can do this tune. Oh, we could do this tune too. And then if maybe we can get this person to do this thing, we can do this tune as well.
Does he actually sing?
He does sing a little bit. It's not his forte, but he can match pitch with the best of them. And he's just like, put a bass in his hands or a trombone up to his lips, and he can just throw your face off.
Yeah, man, that'd be a cool interview to do.
I'll holler at him, and then I'll get you two in touch, because you would. He streams video games on
Oh, is
YouTube.
he the guy that commented on your post that one of your stories was about him?
Yeah. He was so I told the story of a friend of mine who has a bass player, but was switching to upright bass, and then he just had massive blisters on his fingers. And after freshly popping them, just dunked his fingers into a shot of rubbing alcohol right in front of me. Like it still makes my butt pucker thinking about it. But he is a machine when it comes to anything musical. You give him any note that you pick out of the ether, and he'll just be like, "Oh, that's a C sharp." Or whatever the case may be. Like, I've never met anybody with pitch like him, and he's just something else.
Yeah, man, that'd be a cool interview.
Yeah, I'll definitely get you two in touch, because he will have a lot of things to say. Like I said, he's the same friend that plays for Jocelyn in the Sweet Compressions. He's gone across the state for the United States with a national tour of an evening out with, or night out with Janis Joplin. He's been on Broadway. He's done a virtual crap ton of music related ventures, and to have someone like him in who's done all of these things, to want to come back to Eastern Kentucky and bring the capabilities of everywhere else to here is so refreshing, because it seems like almost anybody who has any talent or inkling of desire, they're just like, oh, I need to go to Nashville, or oh, I need to go to New York, or oh, I need to go to LA, or I need to go to somewhere else that is not here. And I can understand wanting to spread one's wings and to go learn from other places. But when he was telling me his like mission statement from graduating college was to go out and learn these things, but to eventually bring them all back to Eastern Kentucky and further everyone else's knowledge of that, it was just so refreshing and eye-opening that he and I have just been fast friends. It's only been 4 years that he and I have been friends, but it feels like it's been 10.
Yeah, man, he seems like a cool dude.
He really is. I'll definitely get you two in touch.
All right. Thanks for bringing it on, man. And hopefully we can find out like when you're doing that show with Broken Throne, and we'll help you promote that show, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, once I have some information, I'll be sure to let you know. And then there's always the possibility that I'll be on another podcast, possibly doing a newer tune or something we might be doing for the new show.
Oh, you mean a podcast with me and Chasing the Graph?
With you two, or just with you? We'll, probably once I have something to actually promote. But yeah.
You'll probably actually be doing both.
That's possible. I'm not opposed.
Yeah, man, you're that talented.
Thank you. That means a lot, very much.
Yes, sir, man. Thanks for being on, bro, and God bless.
You also, and to everyone else out there.
I want to thank Malcolm Johnson for doing the interview. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. And once he creates a YouTube and a Facebook page, they will be in the description. And the sponsors links will be in the description as well. You guys have a good night, and God bless.